Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Zero here, and today we'll be talking about Setzer, the newest LD that appears to surprise every one of us in Global. So I'm pretty sure every one of you already know what Setzer does. He doesn't get any rework outside his new LD. His skill 1 does freeze, which frees the entire bravery of the enemy. It's still pretty good. And his skill 2 is a single target 3 HP dump, delaying kid. Nothing much. Alright, so moving on to his best part is his LD, which is Skittle, doing Skittle damage. I'm just joking. Or am I? Anyway, so the real thing about his LD is the rainbow damage. We global actually get to experience early on with core. So the idea behind rainbow is dealing maximum amount of damage regardless of the defense stats or how hard or how tanky the boss is. You'll always be doing maximum amount of damage, depends on your high armor and the overall auras that you have. Keeping that in mind, Setzer has a very good offensive and defensive stance. The defensive part being his skill 1, which you freeze the enemy bravery from a debuff and you won't be able to, you'll be safe for 3 turns for each usage. He doesn't have a lot of skill users for his skill 1 though. He only has 3 users, so you really want to only use it during an emergency or during cases where you don't want, you know that the enemy is gonna use some huge HP attacks. Keeping in mind though, Setzer's LD buff only provides 6 turns to the ally and 9 turns to himself. It's not extendable by any means, so no hope extension or no ICO abuse. Setzer's buff does drop during BT phase. So with BT Plus coming out soon, extending the BT phase to 7 turns, we won't be getting Setzer's LD buff on the last attack, no matter when we open up a BT. Regardless though, Setzer is more of a... You all know that he's good, you just need to slightly understand which or what team composition he'll work really well in. In my opinion, he works the best with off-turn damage dealer like Leon, Galuf, Gladiolus, or even Furion. And he also worked really good with units that have a lot of bravery dumps, as well as units that goes turn by turn basis like Squall or Vaughn. He works the least. I would say he doesn't work really well with units that turn hogs like Lightning, Terra, Tidus. It's debatable though, because normally when you use turn hogger, you prefer units like Core that can sustain the buff on the turn hogger itself for a very long time, or easily accessed. You do have to remember that Setzer only has 4 usage of his LD, so if you use fully utilize all of the turn counts from the buff itself, you can only go up to 24 turns. This is not exactly the ideal setup for a turn hogger like Tidus, like I said, Tidus, Terra, or Lightning. So yeah, he doesn't really work the best with this kind of unit. Regardless though, Setzer is still the meta of what we're gonna expect in the coming Lufenia Plus era, where bravery damage is gonna be very important because they're gonna cut the bravery damage really hard and they're gonna increase the boss stats like crazy. So I think having Setzer is like future proof, as well as Porum and the upcoming Agris. Theological actually mentioned in his video about Setzer's usage as well, so which I completely agree. I'll leave the link to his video in the description below. Alright, I think that's all about Setzer. If I'm gonna give him a verdict, I'll say he's an 8 out of 10. He's very good, but I'll say that he's not as commonly used in every team comp as people would believe him to be so. As you all know from my own run, I like to use turn hogger and just go ham without letting the boss get any turns. So from this perspective, I would say that it's more suitable for me right now to use debuffer like Jack or Faris or Gabran or Kurosame to get the maximum damage from there. Using that perspective, I would say Setzer would definitely not work well with my initial run. He does work really well, like I said, with Squall and Vaughn though, so I think I'll use him a lot in that sense, or my Squall feature run. Since Squall doesn't really need to take up a lot of turns, he just needs to do the maximum damage every time he takes a turn, so Setzer would really help him to do that. And with that in mind, I definitely think that I will use Setzer a lot more than I thought I would. But I'll see whether how viable he is in this current meta, not the Lufenia Plus one, because we all know that Lufenia Plus is gonna be a monster. I didn't play JP, but I didn't play JP when Lufenia Plus first hit, so I didn't know how hard or how much the difficulty was spiked. But I already know that Setzer, it's gonna be very, very useful, especially the early on, where we don't have a lot of unit accessible for the huge bravery cut. So thank you again for watching. If you enjoy my content, do consider to subscribe. I'm almost 1000 subscribers. Yes, let's go guys! Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video.
責務は果たす。責務は果たす。梅雨払いはしてやるぞ。少しばかり揉んでやる。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。人たちで切り落とす。燃えたけれ。責務は果たす。これが切り札だ。責務は果たす。魂ごと砕く。責務は果たす。梅雨払いはしてやるさ。沈んでもらおう。責務は果たす。イカ様なしだ。